Hello everyone and welcome to Farm Bureau's Voices of Agriculture. This week coming to you from the state of Mississippi. On the show this time, we visit a farm that has customers as shareholders in the risks and the gains. We attend a dinner held by a Jackson area restaurant to honor the farmers that supply them with the products they serve on their menu. We visit with an ag pilot who tells us all about agricultural aviation. We meet a couple who are involved in agriculture more off the farm than on the farm. And finally, our Mississippi on the Menu segment with Home Economist Nancy Freeman. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Family traditions are never more important than when families gather around the dinner table to celebrate special occasions. Farm families of Mississippi share the bounty of the harvest with families throughout the state and even the nation. Chances are that your gatherings include delicious sweet corn, baked sweet potatoes, and a rich golden pecan pie. Buy Mississippi-grown products. It's good for your family and it's good for Mississippi. The Farm Families of Mississippi.
Over the last 20 years, community-supported agriculture has become a popular way for consumers to buy local, seasonal food directly from a farmer. Here are the basics. A farmer offers a certain number of shares to the public. Typically, a share consists of a box of vegetables, but other farm products may be included. Interested consumers purchase this share or membership or subscription and in return receive a box of seasonal produce each week throughout the farming season.
It's a simple enough idea, but its impact has been profound. Tens of thousands of families have joined CSAs, and in some areas of the country, there is more demand than there are CSA farms to fill it. One CSA farm in central Mississippi is Amorphous Gardens, and its owner is Jonathan Pekarsik.
Amorphous really, it means without form, without structure. And when we were thinking about developing a place where we're going to grow stuff, we wanted to go outside the bounds of traditional agriculture. And, thinking about it one day, that was the word that came to my mind.
At a time when many people are trying to buy locally grown products, this is an alternative way to do that, as opposed to going to the farmer's market.
The way that our program works is people buy shares for this particular season. It's a 12-week season. They pay $20 a week, and they get what's in season. I mean, in essence, the program, community-supported agriculture, connects communities with the growers, and it allows people to eat seasonally. This idea is really embedded in sustainable agriculture and organics, natural growing, where people want to know what's put on their food. People want to know that their food's grown in a way that's sustainable, really.
During the harvest, Jonathan says he has some pretty long days.
This time of year, a typical day is, we get up before dawn, and we're picking vegetables, whether it's like today we're picking for the CSA. Other days we're picking throughout the week for different markets that we sell at. In the morning, my day consists of picking until about 6:30. And some days I wake up at 3, some days closer to 4:30, 5. We pick till 6:30. That's when my partner, she goes to work. And then the rest of the day is with the kids. And so throughout the day when they're sleeping, I'm outside working or, organizing or shucking peas or whatever it is. And then when she gets home in the evening around 6, I'm out till dusk. Picking, weeding, things like that this time of year.
The customers who purchase memberships in Amorphous Gardens pay their money up front and share the risk with Jonathan.
So if our season's terrible this year and we get no rain, let's say we didn't rain this past week and everything's stressed, the back end of our CSA was going to perform poorly, right? And so the consumer takes the risk, but at the same time, today they're going to get much more than $20 worth of produce if they would have went to a farmer's market and bought it from us. So it's like a risk reward, what's the percent on investment really, and it allows the consumer to really be connected. They are dependent on what we're doing. They have money that they've paid up front, and some of the time we also allow people to pay halfway through the season, so today's the last payment as well. But they're invested in us. They want us to perform well. The people that are in our CSA are people who are really emotionally invested in eating quality food. They range from students, which to me is really impressive, because when I was in college I would have never had the guts to put up that money up front, even if I wanted that stuff. So it's really impressive to see students, and then, you know, it goes the spectrum to musicians, to professors, to doctors. So, I mean, there's just a wide variety of people who are really interested in feeding their families and themselves good food that is grown sustainably without, you know, chemical fertilizer, pesticides, and herbicides.
Jonathan and his family have lived all over the country, but they decided to settle in Mississippi, near his wife's family.
And it ends up being a perfect market for us, because in other places it would be really hard for a farm to start this small with this little capital and develop into a good business. Whereas here, you know, the market's just beginning and people are really looking for people like us that are trying to grow heirloom vegetables, grow it sustainably, naturally, and it's a great time to be here, you know, trying to do this.
Even if hardly anyone goes to visit Grandma's farm on family vacations anymore, visitors can eat as if they did, but with a gourmet touch. Restaurants all over the country are letting diners feast on local bounty straight from the source. It's an education on how it comes into being, how it gets to your table, and how to put it to best use. All delivered with equal parts knowledge and passion by the folks that make it happen.
Farm-to-table dinners have become all the rage lately because many patrons want to eat fresh, locally grown products, and restaurants have been more than happy to oblige. Table 100 restaurant in Jackson recently held such an event honoring the farmers that help supply the eatery with quality, locally grown food. The event was a complete sellout and a huge success.
We are having a fabulous event. It is to honor our local farmers and their bounty of the season. We use as many ingredients as we can from farm to table. So we're here to celebrate.
Events like this raise community awareness of local farming and support for Mississippi agriculture.
It's very important. It's a full circle. We support them, they support us, our guests support us. I mean, it's sustainable. The produce is wonderful, the meat is wonderful. It's, you know, you go straight without a freezer, without preservatives, and that's just very important. Eat healthy.
Top chefs have traveled the world to learn their craft, but they all know one secret. The best ingredients are found right here at home. Table 100 has a great working relationship with several local farmers and incorporates their products into the menu on a daily basis.
We have been working for them all year and part of last year, so we basically growing a relationship with them since last year when we started the restaurant. For us, it's first of all, it's a commitment to the region, to the people living around us and our customers. Then second of all, it's a quality thing. When it just comes to tomatoes, we all know Mississippi tomatoes are unbeatable. So we don't want to have any Mexicans or whatever tomatoes, while here, so beautiful tomatoes growing just around the house here. And we have found a very nice farmer who's providing us all season with his heirloom tomatoes, which were fantastic this year.
The majority of the crowd at this event had no connection to agriculture other than eating 3 meals a day. It was an opportunity for these people to rub shoulders with farmers and educate them about the farm life.
We've had a lot of conversations about the local eggs that were here, the deviled eggs, the recipes, and the products that we grow in Mississippi. I was sitting beside a gentleman and he said, how many farmers do we have in Mississippi? So I was able to share that. We talked about mushrooms. We talked about corn, obviously the corn prices and how that affects the restaurants. But, you know, basically the chefs and how that is such a cool thing now to go to culinary school, because people want to be a part of that, because we're finally getting that we can do what we love to do, but let's figure out a way to do it that it's healthy for us and it's safe for us. But we're teaching our children these habits. We're teaching the children that are coming up, that are in our homes, that we need to eat healthy, and this is the way to do it. So I think it's a great example for the farm, for the family. Like I said, everybody benefits.
This was one of the first farm-to-table dinners in the Jackson area, but it certainly won't be the last.
Of course, it's going to grow with what a great time we had tonight and what the food, how good the food was and the fellowship. But basically that basic, let's get down to the land, let's get the agriculture information flowing here, let's get it in here, let's have a good meal and really acknowledge the folks who grew the products that we consumed.
We'll have much more of this edition of Voices of Agriculture right after this timeout. Stay with us.
When was the last time you were responsible for feeding 155 people? If you're a Mississippi farmer, the answer is easy. It was yesterday. That's right. The technology used in farming today maximizes crop yields and protects the land for generations of farmers to come. There are lots of ways and lots of jobs that keep Americans safe, and I'm proud of the role that Farm Families of Mississippi has in providing a safe, affordable source of food and fiber for your family.
The Farm Families of Mississippi.
Agricultural aviation is an important part of the overall aviation and agricultural industries. The industry consists of small businesses and pilots that use aircraft to aid farmers in producing a safe, affordable, and abundant supply of food, fiber, and biofuel. Aerial applicators are highly trained professionals who have made a very large investment in their business. Like all Americans, they're concerned with human health, the environment, security, and performing their job in a responsible manner.
Carl Holcomb has been around airplanes all his life. His dad started Holcomb Aerial Service when Carl was 3 years old.
I can remember the first time that I climbed into one that he gave me a ride in one, coming from one place back to home. And then, you know, as a 4-year-old kid, one of the highlights of the evening, I'd want to hang around here all day till dark. And when Dad would park the airplane in the hangar, he'd sit me up in his lap, you know, let me hold the stick and maybe think I'm flying and drive on up into the hangar.
And he's been hooked ever since. Aerial application accounts for up to 1/4 of the delivery of crop protection products in American agriculture. Farmers value the use of aircraft because they can cover so much area so quickly without disturbing the soil or the growing crops. Aircraft can glide over the crops at up to 140 miles per hour. This is important because some pests and disease can do serious damage in just a day or two.
We can cover so many more acres than somebody can with a ground machine or another way of applying something. We don't do any soil compaction. We don't disturb anything when we go across. Normally we're more fuel efficient. Usually we can cover more acres per gallon of fuel that's burned. It makes it a little more efficient. So we're not affecting the environment, say, as much as we would by running ground machines or some other type of way to, to apply something. Those are usually the time interval is always seems like the biggest benefit, because usually we want to try to get out there and get it done as quickly as we can, and thus saving the amount of damage that any kind of pest or anything else will be affecting the crop.
Some 3,200 professional operators and pilots operate in the United States. Most of them have thousands of hours of experience. They must meet federal and state requirements, both for flying skills and for the safe handling of chemicals.
Some of the states are on what they would call a point system, or some of them just do it to where you only have to attend recertification or a recurrent training program once every 3 years, or total up a certain number of points each year, just like you would CEUs in other types of business, same type of thing. The state of Mississippi is different in the fact that we require recertification or retraining every year.
Technology has helped the industry be much more accurate and efficient in the delivery of crop protection products.
Everybody now, we've gone over to GPS technology and using the differential error, the differential sources that we used to take out the error, we're flying stuff now to where we're below 3 meters in our accuracy, in our applications. We have instrumentation on the aircraft that will guide us down each pass that we have, and when it says, that we're right on the mark, we know we're no more than 3 meters off the mark. And everything is logged onto the aircraft. Our state of Mississippi requires everything, every application other than fertilizer, everything that we do, every type of pesticide that we put out, requires that we log all this information. So every trip that I make, every trip I make across the field or to and from a field, all this goes on to something that I can download off the aircraft. I can pull it back up on the computer. So should the need arise via whatever it is, I've got access to that information. The benefit for us is it's made every pass that we make now efficient. Every time we turn around and go, we know we're right on track, we're right on the mark. We're like you said, we're not overlapping anything. We're 100% efficient on every pass that we make. So it's sped our process up.
Carl is the past president of the Mississippi Agricultural Aviation Association, an organization formed to organize and help ag pilots.
We needed a way to come together, to bring ourselves together, to talk about our industry, to discuss any changes maybe that we need to do on a group and a large level, and to have a speaking voice, at any time things may come up or a need would arise, and that way we would be somewhat unified.
This is a highly regulated industry. The public should be aware that the products that are being applied to the crops are not harmful to humans.
Just about everything that we put out now with the volumes and the quantity, not the quantity, but the concentrations that we put out are safe. It's not something that's going to go out there that when you breathe it, you know, you're going to fall over and have a fit of some sort. I mean, it's safe. Everything that, you know, it's gone through so much regulatory process. When the EPA turns something finally loose and says, okay, it's good to go, all the instructions, all the regulation, all the rules that we follow are on that label of that product. We're trying to take care of a pest that's no bigger than an ant. Well, what kind of concentration do you think of some type of product would it take to handle this? 99% of the stuff that we put out is safer than a lot of chemicals, a lot of things that you have in your household that's under the sink.
The biggest challenge facing Carl and other ag pilots is being able to get to all of the people that need him in a timely manner.
And the way the crops have been altered to where their growing seasons are now shorter, you're looking at less days in that growing season. So there again, you've got another thing pressing it down into these ever-growing smaller windows of time that things happen. The challenge for us is being able to meet those windows and do our timely application and be able, you know, to afford to do it in that timely manner and to still be beneficial to the grower. You know, to still go out there and do our job and be cost effective for him and get that job done, but in those ever smaller periods of time.
Ag aviation is a highly visible industry. But the next time you see an ag plane in operation, remember this: you're watching a highly trained professional committed to supplying safe, economically priced food for you and your family.
Most people have a picture in their mind of a farmer toiling in the soil to raise crops or working with their livestock to keep them safe and healthy. But there are a large group of individuals that are just as important to agriculture who do not have the majority of their income subject to normal production risks. Let's meet some of those right now.
We raise beef cattle out here and do our own hay production. We just run about 20 to 30 head, calve them out, sell the calves, and we're trying to scrunch it up to a calving season right now, so we're in the process of trying to improve it.
William is the facilities coordinator for the research herd at Mississippi State University.
We run probably 170 head of cattle in the fall and about 100 head in the spring. We have 3 breeds of cattle. We have Hereford, Angus, and Charolais, and we mainly do research on those animals. Right now we're doing a project and we're feeding out heifers with whole cottonseed and seeing if that affects them or not, like it does in bulls. We've got some genetic low marker and high marker research going on with the Angus.
Julie is the County Extension Director for Oktibbeha County.
I've actually been a county director 3 years, but I've worked for the Extension Service for 12 years. I was a 4-H agent prior to this. I serve the clientele of the county, whether it's from working in your home garden or in your lawn, or if it's out working with the farmers, dealing with row crops, or with any type of agriculture. My favorite part is getting out and actually working with the farmers and helping them to improve their facilities and their herds, and just being with them and being able to socialize and learn from them too.
The Whites feel like one of agriculture's biggest challenges is getting all aspects to come together as one voice.
No matter how small or how large the farm is, no matter if it's organic or conventional, we would like to see agriculture come together as one voice because we think we're stronger as one than we are as separate entities. That includes all types of agriculture, no matter if you have the small home garden or if you have the large row crop farm or if you have anything in between. The biggest challenge is getting them to actually get in a room together would be the first challenge because they're so busy pointing fingers at each other that they don't really have time to listen to each other's side of the story and realize in the end that we are just all one agriculture commodity and one agriculture group. And, you know, and for me as a county extension agent, I see that battle on a daily basis. And so it's something that I'm passionate about and would like to see happen.
The Whites have 2 children, 6-year-old Matthew and Morgan, who is 5.
That's one of our key things that we really enjoy is getting them involved with the farm. I enjoyed growing up on the farm, getting to learn about the cattle, getting to learn about equipment, and I hope that they will take the time to learn and to appreciate the land that we have and to take care of the land that we have.
Stay tuned for our Mississippi on the Menu segment right after these messages.
I'll never forget the pride that my dad took in the crops that he grew on our farm. He always said the work we do is important, that we feed Mississippi and the country. We can help people put healthy, safe, and affordable food on their table, and that's a reason to be proud. Americans spend only about 10% of their disposable income on food. In some countries, it's 50%. Mississippi farmers are proud to do our part to help families enjoy safe, healthy food at affordable prices.
The Farm Families of Mississippi.
You pick farms, and farmers markets are great places to get Mississippi grown freshness. You know, farm families grow not only for their tables, but for yours as well. And you know, a lot of them are certified organic growers. So you need to think about that when you go to the market and look for things. I love getting things that are fresh at the market because you get the best nutrition you can possibly get because it's grown right there at home. You don't have to wait for a truck to bring it to you. We're going to start out with a simple 7-layer salad. This is a great thing to use, all with different types of things you can find in your local markets. I've started with a bed of romaine, and to this we're going to add some peas, and I love using the fresh early peas that do come in the springtime. It's great, and you're going to notice the color is going to be fabulous. To this we're adding in some yellow bell pepper. This just makes it delicious to eat. I can remember my mother telling me if it looks good, it's going to be good. Well, you know this is going to be good from the looks. We're going to also add some fresh tomatoes, and I've chosen to use some little grape tomatoes because they're convenient to eat. They mix up really well, but you can also take any of the tomato varieties that we have, cut them up to your pleasing. We're going to add some chopped celery, lots of crunch, color, nutrients that are going to be in this particular one, and it's just going to be a delightful treat that we've got to it. We're going to add to this some chopped onions, which always are a wonderful treat to have in there. And now on top of this, we're going to make a quick and easy little sauce. And I've already got it mixed up, but I want to tell you, this one's kind of a different. It's a yogurt-based sauce, and it's got a little bit of cider vinegar in it. So it's going to be a really pleasant taste. You just pour this across the top, spread it out a little bit. And this nice topping that we've got there, I'm going to sit these out of my way. And then we're going to put some cheese, just a little bit sprinkled around on it, some fresh basil, which I absolutely adore having. It's such a nice flavor combination with our fresh vegetables. The basil really adds a pop to the particular salad. And then on top, we're going to add some chopped bacon that we've pre-cooked. Now, if you have vegetarians at your home, feel free to leave the bacon off, that's fine. But you know, when you go to your local farmer's market, you can find a lot of different varieties of fruits and vegetables that'll be there. And our market is from spring all the way through the fall. So there's not a time when you can't find fresh grown Mississippi produce for your family. Check us out at our website at growingmississippi.org to find your local farmer's market or You Pick Farms. You'll find great produce there for your family meals.
And that's all the time we have for this edition of Voices of Agriculture. We hope you've enjoyed the show and will be with us again next time. For all of us here at the Mississippi Farm Bureau, thanks for watching.